biscuits. Is now a good time to buy a house in Western Washington? Okay, so I just went to an annual barbecue that my lovely real estate agents put on every year. And I was chatting to my real estate agent about this, like, oh, what's the market like? Like, what's it doing? Because we would love to buy our dream house and, find a fixer-upper somewhere and have a permanent home base that we feel a little bit more secure and joyful in. And I don't know when that's going to happen because it goes out of money and, starving artists. But I had a great conversation with her. I was so intrigued by what she was saying. And, I try to follow the market as a millennial that would like to have a forever home. And, oh my goodness. So, I think that this is a really hard year to buy. And I'm going to say for a reason that you probably don't expect. It's not because interest rates are going to make your nose bleed and, you're going to cry blood. And it's not because home prices are so freaking high. I cannot believe how much houses go for. Like, honestly, I look at places and I just think, legitimately, who are the people that are buying? My brother saw a $3 million house for sale. He's not looking for a $3 million house. He's looking for like a $200,000 house. And we were both like, oh, that's a beautiful house. We were looking at like Redfin or something or Zillow. And it was shocking. It was just a house. It's not even like in a major city or anything. But I think it's a really hard time to buy a house right now because inventory is super low in Western Washington. So a bunch of people bought during the frenzy, or they refinanced during the frenzy of lockdown when the rates were like, under 3%, under 2%, crazy low interest rates. So they're stuck. They can't move because they have such low interest rates that if they sell their house, they're going to have to go buy another house. And interest rates are now like 7%. It's insane. So nobody's listing their houses for sale. And if they are, then price and interest rates are coming in. So it's just like crazy inventory. Like, I've been keeping an eye out. Oh, could we ever find our fixer-upper dream house? And wow, there's just like nothing on the market. So no, I don't think 2023 is a good year to buy a house because there's so little on the market. Caveat, I think 2023 is a great year to buy a house if you happen to find your little diamond in the rough, your dream house, and it just happens to be on the market. Now is like, swoop it up. It's great. So one of the reasons it's a great idea to buy now while the interest rates are high is because when they lower, you can lower your interest rate by refinancing, but you will have paid less for your house more than likely because there's less bidding wars going on right now because of the interest rate. But pay a couple years of higher interest and save $100,000 or $200,000 on the asking price of the house. That can be a really good savings over 30 years if you're looking for your long-term perma house, right? It can make a lot of sense. Investment-wise, I'm not a professional real estate investor, but it can be a really good time to buy if your house happens to come on the market now and you have all your ducks in a row. But it's really tricky. Overall, I think this is not a good year to buy only because there's just so little on the market. It's crazy. I think that I read that my area was down 37% in inventory year over year. And Western Washington is infamous for its tiny, short, bottlenecked supply of homes because we're abutted by the mountains on the east and the ocean on the west. And so you just can't build that much. And Western Washington likes to just, make you pass out with regulations to build anything. So there's just not that many houses to begin with, and to be down that much in inventory year over year is crazy. It makes it such a hard year to buy a house. I mean, just finding a nice starter home that you can fix up over time and have be your forever dream house is insanely difficult. I was talking to my brother the other day because he's a nurse now. He's an RN, and he's looking in the next couple years to save up and buy his first little starter home. And he knows that, my family is looking to buy our little fixer-upper forever home, right? And we're both at the point as millennials that we're like, geez Louise, how will we ever do this? Because it's so competitive. There's so few homes. It's so difficult, You really have to give up a lot of your must-do lists. It is so tricky. Oh my goodness. Never would I thought it was that hard. I'm honestly looking at real estate options I would have never thought of before over the next couple of years, because we really do just want to be settled and not having to overthink it. We really, I feel like I'm in a place and our family's in a place where we're really looking to just be settled and comfortable and relaxed, so that I can focus on my work and my kids can focus on their little childhoods and just have a nice time, growing our family, having a beautiful time with that, and not stressing over where we live or how we live or all that stuff. So overall, I think it's a bad year to buy a house because there's so many things working against you. But if you were lucky enough to be able to buy this year, it feels like a good time, because probably interest rates are going to go down in the next 2 years. You can refinance and have saved a lot of money on the home that you're buying. I always think if you're looking for a house, buy it as soon as you can, because housing prices in the US just keep going up. Like, everyone I've talked to that's professional is like, there's not some huge housing bubble that's going to burst price-wise. It's just slowed down because there's so many people locked into their homes. They are not selling. It's super low inventory. They have way low interest rates. They are not moving. And there's so little being built that it's just not going to be a giant bubble. Plus, there's all these big companies that have bought up single family homes. And so it's in their financial interest to not let a bubble pop or anything. So it doesn't look like prices are going down. So buy as soon as you can. But this year is a really hard year to buy anything. I would love to hear from you in comments. Will you tell me, would you buy a house this year? Are you house hunting this year? And you're like, oh my God, this is even crazier than lockdown. So you biscuits know I spent all of lockdown house hunting, trying to find a place to live. And we lost out on every single house that we bid on. And we lost out by like all cash offers, hundreds of thousands of dollars over offering, like things that there was no way our little family could compete with ever. We were just looking for basic homes, So I have been looking at the real estate market here in Western Washington, seriously, like house hunting for years now. And it has been so difficult. I laugh because I was at this barbecue with my real estate agents. And I was talking to their other clients because it's like client appreciation barbecue thing. And they're like, oh yeah, so-and-so helped us, a house a couple years ago. And they're like, oh yeah, we've been driving around with them for years looking at places. They're probably tired of speaking to us at this point. Yeah, it's just crazy to think how difficult it is to get these things done. And created and manifested. But I believe in manifesting, so I think you can totally do it, biscuits. The right time will come, but it is a really tricky, I would say it's a really tricky decade to go house hunting. It is just super hard to find spots that you want in a non-dilapidated house that isn't, a tiny house just on the freeway driving back and forth. Tell me in the comments, what do you think about house hunting in Western Washington? Would you be brave enough to do it, or are you like, sticking my butt in the Midwest, where you can actually buy a house and see you crazy left coast? I'm going to see you on our primal, luscious month of self-care over on Patreon, where we're taking care of our inner being and outer being all this month.